in the situation that we have, in the topic that we have, a certain situation is given that you have a certain friend, and this friend has the habit of cracking jokes all the time, sarcastic ones, making snide comments, and pointing out the looks of other people, the appearance.
Hi,
Good afternoon. Okay, yes.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fine too. Thank you very much. I think your internet isn't functioning that well. Isn't working that well.
Yeah, I think so because there are some issues here.
Okay, in that case, if you would like to, you can just switch off your camera.
I think it's all right. I'll
Yeah,
just
now it's all
continue
right.
till it's
Okay, the
okay.
problem recurs, then we can do that. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I think this is the first time we're meeting. This is our first session together.
yeah,
Okay, in that case, could you introduce yourself?
sure. My name is Arundhati Roktima. I'm 13 years old and I live in the state of Chhattisgarh in the city of Bhilai. And I study in Delhi Public School, Bhilai. And my hobbies would be painting, singing, and playing the piano.
Okay. Okay, that's wonderful. And could you also tell me quickly what feedback have the other tutors given you so far, so that I would have an idea where to focus on?
So the other tutors have to asked me to read newspapers more so that I improve my vocabulary, and also I sometimes use a lot of filler words, so they have asked me to reduce that.
Okay. Okay. And is there anything else?
I can't really remember anything.
Okay. Okay. I would keep these 2 points in the mind. Okay, in my mind. Okay. Good. What I would like you to do is, I would like you to start with a certain extempore topic. The topic is jokes can at times be hurtful.
Hmm.
Jokes. Would you like me to write it on the chat? Jokes can at times be hurtful.
Yeah, I got it. I got the topic.
Okay, okay. What I would like you to do is just take half a minute to think about it, and then make sure that the answer you're giving should be at least longer than 1 minute. Around 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, you should be able to speak on it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let me just think for a few seconds. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
So jokes are the statements or the comments that are funny or that make people smile or laugh. But a joke is only considered a joke when the people on both the sides find it funny. Because if one of the person finds the joke hurtful or if the joke hurts their emotions or anything, then it cannot be a joke anymore. It's more like an insult or a comment, right? So jokes can be hurtful because we do not really know what the other person can get offended by, right? So that's why jokes, we should always think before we make a joke, because we might consider the statement as a joke, as a playful little joke, but the other person might find it very insulting or rude or maybe even offending. So that's why jokes are very difficult, maybe kind of, to, because you don't really know if it's really funny or not. Because once I made a joke, but I feel like it was funny to me but not to the other people, and it feels really bad when the other people just tells you that that they did not find it funny and it was hurtful to them, and then you feel really guilty about it. So jokes can be hurtful to people sometimes.
Okay. The answer was good. I would like you to continue a little more on this. Could you tell me about such incidents? Could you narrate or recount such incidents to me where you made a joke and other people got offended?
Okay, so in this situation, I was with my mother and one of my other friends, and I was just telling my friend about how she looked with her spectacles. Like, okay, so she bought a new pair of spectacles, and then it was very kind of childish, I would say. And I told her, and I made some joke about that, and then my mother then told me that it was not really good because then I might hurt her feelings. She might feel insecure about how she looked with the spectacles. So yeah, that was the whole incident.
Okay. And that person, that friend of yours, did she feel offended? Did it look to your?
She
It was
didn't
your
really
mother's name.
tell me on my face. She didn't really tell it in front of me that she felt bad, but I could sense that she was a little sad or felt bad about it.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Well, such situations do come up. It is unfortunate, but they do come up.
Yeah.
Has it ever happened that you were on the business end of such a joke?
No, not really.
Okay. Around you, your friends, they have a good sense of humor or not so much?
Mm, I think they do have a good sense of humor, but I do not have a good sense of humor at all. And they're really good. They make really nice jokes, but I just can't come up with any joke of mine.
Okay. That happens. Okay. Well, quickly, just a few errors, then we'll move ahead. First of all, I noticed one thing. It is a very positive point. I think your other tutors must have also told you this. You articulate the words extremely well. There is not a single time where I'm having trouble understanding what you are saying. So that's a very good thing. The pace is very moderate. It is very good. And grammar so far, it is going well. And you articulate the words very well. So that's a good thing. You said one of the person, yeah, one of the person, it would be one of the people, one of those. When we
Yeah,
use the
okay.
structure one of, and then we follow it with the plural, one of the people.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah.
word for that is offensive. Offending is someone is something else. Offending means someone who is causing problems or a certain displeasure.
Yeah.
So there are certain people for them we can use their offending. In this case, it would be offensive. It could be considered offensive or hurtful in use.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, that's it. And other people tells you. I think just I heard the S. Other people tell you. It would be. I'm
Okay.
not sure if you actually pronounced it or not. And she tell it. She didn't tell it on my face. Well, actually, we said to my face. She didn't say it to my face, but I
Yeah.
think she felt bad. Okay.
Okay.
In the situation that we have, in the topic that we have, a certain situation is given that you have a certain friend, and this friend has the habit of cracking jokes all the time, sarcastic ones, making snide comments and
Yeah.
pointing out the looks of other people, the appearance, and making jokes on that. Well, he's actually a good friend of yours, and he has a good sense of humor. He's very witty. Most people laugh at his jokes, but sometimes it happens that some people do get offended. Well, he's a friend of yours. How would you react? What would you do in this situation?
I would try to advise that friend of mine that they should stop making those jokes because sometimes the jokes aren't really necessary in an environment in a particular setting. And I would try to advise them and tell them that it can be bad sometimes, and other people can take your jokes in the other way, and they might not feel funny, or they might not find the joke funny or humorous. So I'd like to advise that friend of mine,
Hmm.
and I think that would be the first thing that I would do. And if they still continue to make those jokes or crack those jokes, I would try to stay away from them so that I do not
Hmm.
get associated with that person, because a person is known by the type of company he keeps, right? So then people might think that I am also the type of person that makes those jokes, right? So I try
Hmm.
to stay away and try to advise them. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you can do exactly. But let's say you were to
Hmm.
find yourself in an actual situation where a certain friend of yours was there, and this guy, this friend of yours, he made a joke, let's say on her appearance, on her nose or her lips or something. She was a girl and she got
Yeah.
offended. Well, in that particular situation, it's very uncomfortable. The spirit, the how to say, the mood has become very uncomfortable. What would you do in that
Yeah.
particular scenario?
Maybe I would like to crack another joke that is not a hurtful one, but maybe something a humorous joke, so that the situation becomes a little lighter and people smile and laugh a little to forget what happened. Or maybe I'd like to nudge the friend who made the joke and tell him that say sorry or apologize or something like that.
Hmm. That would work. And if he doesn't apologize, if she has started crying,
I try to comfort the other person, the one who is crying, and
hmm.
then I tell them that, oh, he's such a bad person. Oh, that was such a bad joke. Maybe try to tell a little bad things about the other person so that so the one that is sad feels a little comforted. Maybe something like
Okay,
that.
Your plan would be to just throw your actual friend under the bus, just put the
Yeah,
entire blame on him.
maybe.
Yeah, that could work actually, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. In my case, also such things have happened. I made jokes. I'm the sort of person who just likes to crack jokes every now and then, and it has happened that sometimes people get offended. Do you think that those people who get offended, who take offense very quickly, uh, well, I won't ask any particular question. Just tell me about those people. Just comment on them. What are they like?
Okay, so okay, so there is this image popping in my mind, like a person who with sunglasses and everything. And I don't know, but the person with the sunglasses just came to my mind. I don't know why. But okay, so those people
Okay.
who get offended really easily, they're very how what should I say? They're very soft because they just take everything to
Hmm.
the heart, and they are not able to take things lightly, and that is a problem because then you cannot really talk about anything that they might feel offensive. So yeah, they are a problem to be with because then you're not able to talk freely.
Correct. Exactly. Okay. So a few things. I use this expression. I think you are already acquainted with this. Throw him under the bus. Use it that way. That way. So to just put the entire blame on someone else, or just this, they are the ones who did this, and you escaped. That's one thing. And for such people, we can also say you have to walk on eggshells around them. Walk on eggshells in the sense you have to always be aware. Oh, you might offend them. They would just take it in
Yeah.
a different way. Yeah, walk on eggshells around them. We can use these two expressions. And what else? They might feel offended. In this case, it would be like that. So there is a difference between the words bored and boring, the adjectives bored and boring. I am bored, and the film which makes me bored is boring. Similarly,
Yeah.
I am offended, and the joke or the person that makes me offended is offensive. So I am offended. For myself, I would use the adjective offended. They might feel
Okay.
offended.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it. By the way, why was the picture of a man with sunglasses was the one that you thought of?
I don't know, but
Huh?
it just maybe okay, maybe in like movies or something I've seen like people with sunglasses are really what should I say, like really like a person who is mainly a problem, like the problematic person. And I think that is the reason because I associate, maybe my mind associates people with sunglasses as problematic.
Ah, okay, okay. I do remember such associations to come up. For me, for instance, those people who, up their collars like this, for me, they are the sort of people who have a lot of attitude in front of whom you
Yeah.
cannot really say things. Yeah, that is one thing. So perhaps that could also be there. Like there are such people who are very vain. You could consider them that. It's like
Yeah.
that. Okay. Do you have any such friends, by the way, who are, who take offense very easily, who get offended a lot?
Yes, I do have this friend, and
Oh.
she used to be a really close friend of mine, but now we have grown a little apart.
Hmm. And is this the reason that you have grown apart?
I'm not really sure because we were friends when we were very little kids, and I can't really remember why we grew apart.
Okay, okay. But still, she is the sort of person who takes offense. Can you
Yeah.
give me one example, one anecdote could you share with me?
Okay, so once I told her that, okay, so she was wearing a blue dress. I can't really remember what type of blue, but it was definitely a blue. And I told her that blue doesn't suit purple shoes. She was wearing purple shoes with blue dress.
Hmm.
And I just told her that they don't match. And she was like, oh, you don't like me. You just, what an awful friend you are. Something like that.
Oh my goodness. And when was this? How many years ago?
I think maybe like 4 or 5.
Okay. And do you think that, well, you told me you are around 13 or 14, I guess?
Yeah, I'm 13.
Do you think, just take a guess here, venture a guess, do you think around 13 or 14 is the age, or 9 or 10 is the age where people take offense very easily? And perhaps when you grow up, this would change? People won't take offense?
Yeah, because when we grow up, our personality and attitude just changes over time, because then we get to know more about the world, and then we just change our personalities a little bit, because then you change friend circles, environments, and everything. So yeah, personality changes a lot when you grow up.
Hmm. Hmm. And you think people become mature as they grow?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Okay, okay. A few more things. So, Arundhati, I guess all the feedback that you are getting is very positive, at least as far as the fillers were concerned. I think this is some, it could be an issue in the other sessions if the other tutors have pointed it out. This is something you should take care of. But in general, I don't think there is any negative feedback from my side at all. Any constructive criticism or anything. Your grammar was very perfect. Your intonation patterns, the articulation, as I said, all of it was very good. You were able to use them very well. Yeah, and how have your sessions been going by the way so far?
They're going on great. I'm enjoying them really well.
Okay, and well, before you joined Clippingo, do you think that you were lacking in certain areas that you have improved?
Yeah, I was lacking in confidence while speaking English, and I also didn't really know how to like use these informal statements and informal words. And I think I have improved that.
Okay, okay, okay. Mostly with people, it is the other way around. They have trouble using the formal language instead of the informal one. Yeah, but for you, it was something else. And for confidence, also, I must tell you, it was great. Now you don't have any issues with that. Instead of the word informal is correct, we also have another register below this, the conversational one. If you ever would like to, you can always say, I don't know how to use, I don't know how to talk in the conversational register. Informal is as opposed to the formal, and conversational is when we are just talking to friends or talking to family members, or in these sessions like that, we can say that conversational
Yeah.
register is there. Hmm.
Okay.
And by the way, there is one thing again, I should appreciate you for that. I should commend you that with most of my learners, they're around 30 or 35. It's just that I ask them to share an anecdote or a story. They just cannot come up with anything. In your case, that wasn't also there. So that's something. It's quite a fun taking sessions with 13 or 14 years old.
Hmm. Thank you.
That is also there. Yeah.